2014 luncheon and our 5th annual State of the Village Address. We're excited to welcome the Village President and Mayor, Dr. Sandra Bury, as well as the Village Clerk, Jane Quinlan, the Village Manager, Larry Deachin, Josh Jones, the Assistant to the Village Manager, the Finance Director, Brian Hannigan, the Budget Director, Joanne Szynski, Director of Public Works, Steve Barrett, Police Chief, Mike Murray, Oaklawn Fire Department Chief of Fire and EMS Services, George Sheets, Human Resources Director, Dan Omazinski, Emergency Communication Director, Kathleen Hansen, Village Engineer, Jack Gallagher, Economic Development Coordinator, Steve Radish. We also have with us today the Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau, CEO, President Jim Garrett. In light of moving the program along, we would like to invite you to invite you to start your salad. The presentation will begin at 12:30 with the Village President, Dr. Bury. She will give her State of the Village Address. There will be question and answer period after the presentations. You all should have cards on the table. We're asking that if you have any questions for the panel, that you write that question down and then hold your card up and Julie will come and collect the cards. And I will read the questions off. And have a good lunch. This is the Village President, Dr. Sandra Bury. Please remember to have your questions, if you have any questions, kind of wave your cards so that Julie can come and pick them up. Jane? Thank you. You were smart to wait because everyone already found their seat. You don't have to. I put my pencil in my eye. Who's here? Okay, Steve's not coming. I'm going to call up Trustee Border. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Can you fit that way? Oh, good man. We're waiting for just one more up here. Thanks, sorry. Good afternoon. It's a real pleasure to be here today. I'm standing up here with a wonderful team. This is the State of the Village Address, and I get the privilege of doing this, but really it is the work of these people and about 390 of their best friends at Village Hall. Most were introduced already. I don't think Trustee Vorder has been introduced yet. Trustee Vorder is in District 4, and there he is. So it's an absolute pleasure and privilege to be here today to talk about the state of our wonderful village. It's been a tradition of the Chamber of Commerce, and it's a perfect opportunity to consider where we've been,
where we're going as a community and what's next. I want to thank the Chamber and all its members for giving me the great honor of being here today to do this. The Chamber shows great leadership in organizing this event. I want to thank the Hilton for their continual excellence and hospitality today. How about a round of applause for our wonderful lunch? Thank you. I want to thank the community leaders who took the time to be here today, village officials and staff, and all those especially who worked behind the scenes to assist with this event. We're going to talk just about numbers briefly in Oak Lawn. Just to give you a frame of reference, Oak Lawn's got about 57,000 residents. That's about 23,500 households. There are about 1,200 businesses in Oak Lawn. And I understand about 350 of those are Chamber members. Congratulations to them. To the rest of you, it's not too late to join the Chamber. We have 10,000 seniors in Oak Lawn and about 12,000 kids. If you think of where Oak Lawn is in relation to the rest of the state, there are about just shy of 1,300 municipalities. If you rank them by order of population, Oak Lawn is 23 out of all of those. So we're up there with the pinnacle of communities in the state, and we're not a sleepy suburb at all. We are a very powerful economic and voting force and very influential. We all just got our tax bills recently, and you always get a little state of shock when you open them. The village portion, you need to know, is only about 11% of the total tax bill. Your schools, your library, your park district, your water district, all of those things, township, add up also to the total bill. So we're talking about 11% of the total bill today. Of our whole budget, property taxes are only 28% of the general fund. So other revenue like sales tax, for example, rounds out our budget. On average, each household in Oak Lawn pays under $53 a month for village services. This comes to about $625 a year. It covers things like streets, snow plowing, police, fire, rescue service, festivals, and other village amenities. So if you think about it, it's truly an awesome value. 2/3 of every dollar of our general fund goes to salaries and benefits. This presents challenges as we look to try not to increase taxes. It becomes very problematic because just about everything in our fund is people and their benefits. The village has 401 employees. That's 312 full-time and 89 part-time. Of that, 272 are in safety, which is about 67%. That's police, fire, and telecommunications. If you just take those safety employees alone, the majority are police, and the part-timers are primarily crossing guards. There's a few others, for example, the evidence room technician, the code enforcement officers, for example. We have an excellent police department. In 2013, our police calls were 53,365. This is actually down from 2012, over 3,600. So our police calls are reduced, which is great. Our crime statistics are generally pretty flat, a little bit down. These are numbers that are tracked by the FBI. We're actually at 1/3 of the national level, and there's a 7% reduction over in 2013 over serious Part 1 crimes for 2012. So I want to thank our Oak Lawn Police Department, the men and women there. This is an outstanding number we could all be proud of. We did have, sadly, one homicide that was a family issue, as you might recall. But very, very good statistics from our police department. Our fire and rescue department, there were 7,905 calls for service. The vast majority of these, the darker color, represents emergency medical service. There were 5,179 calls for paramedics in Oak Lawn. The balance are fire-related calls. And if we look at those, and this is real hard to see on this slide, of the fire-related calls, only about 10 were for structural fires. You can see that little pink end at the end of the bar. These were things like, car incidents, fire alarms, miscellaneous assistance. Our dispatch. Oak Lawn is only one of 300 regional dispatch operations in the state of Illinois out of the thousands of municipalities we have. Our regional emergency calls numbered 85,000. The administrative calls were 161,000. These kind of non-emergency calls include public works related issues. Sometimes people don't want to bother anyone and they just kind of call. Traffic issues, those kind of things, animal problems. So quite a bit of call volume. We have to think of dispatch as a regional asset. Here is the police dispatch area. And these are all performed at Village Hall. This is the fire. And then MABUS is a mutual aid organization. We also do dispatch for that. When we look at sales tax revenue, oops, my slide just jumped ahead here, pardon me. When we look at sales tax revenue, the village gets about 14 million in sales tax revenue. That is a little bit up, primarily, sadly, not because of increase in sales in Oak Lawn, but the tax rate is 8.75 in this community now. We have an Everbridge notification system, and this is exciting. This allows businesses as well as families and individuals a chance to receive emergency communications. We have 3,502 people registered. Again, we've got a lot of homes that have not opted in. Only about 16% of available households have signed up. I know these numbers are a little tough. We have a few more to go through. Hang in there. Video gaming. This is kind of controversial. This is a snapshot of December's numbers on video gaming. Of the amount wagered, 1.5 million was the amount of funds in. The businesses shared income of 408,000. Oak Lawn's income of all that amount wagered was 20,000. So we get 5%, 25% goes to the state, 35% each to the business owner and terminal operator. I'm very proud to say, even though these numbers are increasing, the only people who are getting these machines recently, while I'm in office at least, are established businesses. We hope to continue that trend. Emerald ash borer. We love our trees in Oak Lawn, and this is a big, big problem. We have 641 trees in crisis still standing in Oak Lawn that are going to receive some type of treatment, either chemicals if residents want to try pesticides. They're not having much luck, but some residents love their trees, want to keep them. We have 317 removed in 2013. But again, 581 are not being treated and will need to be removed in the near future. This is extremely costly and absolutely devastating to those of us who love our tree-lined streets. So if you think of Oak Lawn, we talked numbers. We're finally done with all of those. We're going to go on to the next item. Any ideas what that is in the picture there? It is something well done. And those of you who know me know that's how I like my steak, if I ever have it. I like it like shoe leather. But we do a lot of really well done things in Oak Lawn. You would not have a steak like I like it at the Hilton, by the way. They would not turn it into that. We have a wonderful web page. This is a totally reworked website. It was one of the first things I did taking office. It was becoming very clear that the current website that we had before that was just very difficult to navigate for residents. It was confusing. You couldn't search. We were paying $3,000 a month for that old website. This is only $7,000 per year. It is fully searchable. The portal to our business community is there. The link to the chamber is there. You can find anything. It's a really wonderful transition. Took endless hours of work. And it allowed us to achieve this wonderful recognition. Oak Lawn, at the last village board meeting, was given the Sunshine Award by the Illinois Policy Institute. There are only about 52 communities out of the 7,000 taxing bodies in in Illinois, who have this recognition. This is due to following their 10-point checklist for online transparency. And our clerk Quinlan shared a story with me today. She said that at their clerks meeting, they were looking for speakers, and she suggested the Illinois Policy Institute, and I understand they're going to be the keynote speaker at their regional conference coming up. So transparency is a wonderful thing, and it's going to keep continuing. So great job, Jane. I know they're going to really enjoy that. This is very hard to read for anyone in the crowd. I apologize, but basically look at the pink highlighted line. This is where we started out with our online transparency. We were at 37.9 and we got up to 86.1. So we were in the ranks with Cicero and Decatur, and now we're closer to Naperville and Orland Park. Something we could be very proud of. If you think of what Oak Lawn does well, or what's well done in Oak Lawn, our water is definitely it. We are water suppliers to all of these communities. Water is the new oil. For our children's children, fresh, clean water is one of the most critical resources they will have. Our water and sewer fund is a $60 million enterprise. We supply water south and west. 80% of our water that we supply goes to the businesses on the left side of the screen. These are our larger communities where we see most growth. 20% goes to the communities on the right. And if anyone's here from Chicago Ridge, I understand this is going before your board. I want to congratulate you and thank you for your support on this great project. Representing 325,000 lives. So what flows through Oak Lawn truly keeps the Southland safe and healthy. And the majority of these, 80%, are in high growth areas. The former system was designed years ago. Our forefathers had great vision when they looked to start this water distribution system. But back then, times were different. For instance, there was no backup power supply. Oak Lawn's been paying $30,000 a month to have generators on hand. Yes, $30,000 each month. In the event of a power failure, so we can continue to supply those 325,000 people with water. The new system that's being designed will remove that need. It's redundant. If you think of the former system being like a straight line, the new one will be more like a circle or a loop. If the event there's a water main break, you just reroute it and the flow continues. It's much safer and more redundant. It is a long-term solution as well. It's going to last the next 40 years. It's a 35 agreement with 2 10-year options. Depending on how you look at it, it's just a very good thing for the future of the whole Southland. What makes it unique is it's a regional approach to a problem. And this is kind of a theme I have. Oak Lawn is not just its own borders. We're partners in the region. It's a model for how communities can work together. It went through these communities so far 36-0 on the votes. Now, anytime you get politicians voting that way, you know it's a wonderful thing. It's important to note also Oak Lawn is only a 10% customer of the total system, and for the first time we will share the debt accordingly. The board had great vision in processing our paperwork for all of this before September 1st. We were rewarded, therefore, with a $766,000 grant from the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. This is at a rate of 1.93%. It's an excellent deal. And that money, it's important to know, goes directly back to the residents and businesses of Oak Lawn. I really want to acknowledge and thank Advocate Christ Medical Center for their historic agreement with the Village of Oak Lawn. Those of you who live here know that they're a great asset to the community. They do not pay property tax, however. So they've already paid $2 million of this agreement and the rest will be through 2016. This is historic. It's showing their true partnership in Oak Lawn. I want to applaud them. It's great they're helping out with their fair share. The board recently voted to eliminate pensions for part-time politicians in Oak Lawn. This is huge. This is wonderful. This is just setting the tone. It's a job well done. It's the right thing to do. When you talk about pensions, our pension debt is substantial. We are funding our pensions for the police pension at 64%, fire at 61%, and IMRF, which is your municipal employees, 78%. Our plan for 2014 is to double our pension contributions from 2013 based on the performance of our general fund. So paying those up is the right thing to do. And our goal, besides increasing our pension contributions, is to pay down our debt as well. Our goal is to lower it 6 to 8% based on operating performance of our fund. Rating agencies like Moody's look less favorably on lots of debt. They want us to pay these pensions down, and they want sufficient reserves in our general fund. This board is committed to doing everything we can to prevent a downgrade as we received in early 2013. Term limits. Okay, going before the voters in Oak Lawn will be a referendum on the spring ballot for term limits for politicians. So I'm very proud and appreciative of Mike Carberry's lead on this, and the majority of the board was enthusiastic in recommending this as well. So it goes before the vote. I'm having a little technical glitch on my laptop here. We had 130 tons of electronic waste collected last year. That's a lot of electronic waste. Oak Lawn was one of the first communities in the state of Illinois to have an electronic waste program, and we continue to be a leader. This generated revenue for Oak Lawn of about $7,000. We had 4,663 tons of regular waste. It's important to know for every ton of plastic we recycle, almost 2,000 pounds of oil goes out of the system. It's huge. We recaptured $88,491 in revenue from our regular recycling effort. For the first time, we have a jobs program in Oak Lawn. This young man here was being awarded the winner of the logo design contest. There you see. And Trustee Desmond should be congratulated for his leadership with that. When the fire department's called for a minor medical emergency, all of us have seen that big 40,000-pound truck show up, and it seems like a lot. So there's the fire and rescue department is unveiling a new quick response unit. So this will go hand in hand with priority medical dispatch. And this smaller truck will go in place of that larger truck for these minor types of medical calls. So this is going to save fuel, obviously. It's going to save wear and tear on that very expensive fire truck. And it's a great innovative idea. Thank you, Chief. When you think of well done in Oak Lawn, you can't help but think of Clerk Jane Quinlan at my side here. Jane is near completion of her Master Clerk certification, and that is something very well done for Oak Lawn, as well as a great personal accomplishment. You spent many years on that. Congratulations, Jane. Those of us who live in Oak Lawn really enjoy our quiet residential neighborhoods with owner-occupied homes. The board voted recently to require a $10,000 bond for those who desire to rehab single-family homes that will not be owner-occupied. Rentals can't be eliminated, but so far this has had a very positive effect on our communities, something we could be proud of. Trustee Desmond at Oak Lawn Community High School held a trade jobs fair. He's going to host another one at Richards. Okay, the shortest distance between 2 points. And I'm not sure if I have a laser pointer. Yeah. So if you were coming from 294 from the south and you wanted to go to Midway, the signs would direct you to go to 55, go all the way up to 55 to Cicero, back down to Midway. The straightest way is this. Why they directed you and the 20 million passengers that go through Midway every year to go out of the way so much and avoid Oak Lawn and our neighbors to the north and south, I don't know. But we finally, after over 900 days of asking them, have signs, and it's been a huge, huge project, and it seems so maddeningly simple. But yeah, just turn right, you go 8 miles instead of 22 miles. I want to thank our friend Jim, and could you stand please? He wrote letters about every week. Thank you. The Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau does a beautiful job, and Rick Harmon of the Oak Lawn Hilton sits on their board as well. So congratulations. 111th and Cicero is undergoing a lot of changes, and we're, all kind of bittersweet changes. When we think of flapjacks, everyone has eaten there and has loved it, and it was really important to me that they stay in Oak Lawn, and I'm proud to announce today that they are staying in Oak Lawn, and they are moving just down the street at Coral Plaza, the old top-notch burger place. So it'll be wonderful, wonderful, and we could hardly wait. We could hardly wait for that. So our emergency management agency in Oak Lawn is really amazing. This is a school shooter drill they did this year. They sought out grants for this and I'm again having a little tech glitch here. I think about 400 people participating. I'll get your exact numbers. But this is training our schools how to handle an incident of a school shooter. So it was a full-scale exercise. There were 25 different agencies represented and 400 people. This was a great year for this organization. They had $127,000 in grants. Between 2009 and 2013, $1.8 million in grants. We have 40 new business licenses in Oak Lawn last year. That's pretty good. And Oak Lawn received $664,000 in new grants. We are under budget with just about everything. Okay, what this means is we asked department heads to trim costs wherever they could, and they did it to the tune of $500,000. Revenues were up from what we expected by about $1.3 million, so we're having very good positive cash flow. I'm going to highlight just real quickly some of our communities, some of our resources in Oak Lawn. We all remember how the hospital started. Well, look at it now. They are just really super duper impressive. This expansion is a $500 million expansion. We have the Children's Hospital as well and the Ronald McDonald House. And I'm just trying to get my slides here to catch up. Hang in there. I blew past our library, I'm sorry. Our library puts out this wonderful flyer with their numbers, and I was so impressed with this. You don't think of all the people who are using all these services and the variety of programs they have for adults and children. Really, really wonderful. Our park district expanded the Oak Lawn Pavilion, and they completely redid one of the parks. Those of you who remember Rocket Slide Park, they received grants for these. Troop 619. This is out of St. Gerald's. Wonderful, wonderful troop. In 1975, I believe they had 4 or 5 Eagles that year. This year they've had 6 Eagle Scouts come from that troop. It's truly a record if you think of 40 years of Boy Scouts and all the good things they've done, but to have this many Eagles from one troop, I'm very proud of them. Our peer jury program prevents 82% of those who attend it from ever seeing the law again, so it's very, very good. our high school. And again, pardon my tech delay here. We've got some wonderful high schools in Oak Lawn. Spartan Pride really showed strong this year. The drama team won back-to-back IHSA state titles. The speech team was crowned conference champion. The fishing team was even honored as team of the year. That's pretty impressive. Richards, not to be outdone, had a great year for football, as we all know. They were Class 6A runners-up. The band were champions at the Lincoln Way Central Jazz Festival. And the speech team was the South Suburban Conference champions. Our school district 123 continues to amaze us. The middle school has been selected as an Illinois Green School Award winner and received the Academic Excellence Award from the State Board of Education. They are wonderful also for their service projects in Oak Lawn. Ridgeland School District 122, lots of schools there. I'm proud to say 3 students from there will be receiving the Technology Award from Infinitech. They've been collaborating with the village also on safety initiatives and proudly serve the community with several service projects throughout the year. The Children's Museum is a wonderful local resource. 75,000 visitors annually visit that. Of course, I'm very proud of Metra finally agreeing to change the train station name to Oak Lawn/Patriot Station. Very, very nice. So we're almost done. We're moving through here. This is my favorite part. Business development. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's cranes in the air over Oak Lawn, and they are a beautiful sight. The cranes are over Christ Hospital. Look at that incredible expansion. And again, I'm very sorry this is so slow here. The two are not synced up. So this defines Oak Lawn as a regional resource for healthcare. The east side of town is dominated by Advocate Christ Medical Center. The west side has a little company of Mary's beautiful new building. This opened in the spring of 2013. Right across the street from it, a new medical building's going up. This is where the old Honda dealer was. This is going to start construction this year. Beautiful, beautiful building. Bluestone is closer to Target now. We're back on the east side of town. This is where the old State Farm building used to be. And this is just about ready for occupancy, if not already starting to be occupied. Carpet One, you might remember that. It's going to be the most incredible women's health center. I can hardly wait to see this start. This should be starting this construction season also. GenCare, as you may know, came to Oak Lawn, and they opened late summer, early fall, and they are a true neighborhood medical center specializing in senior care. Well, Michelle, we have some exciting things happening just east of GenCare. First Midwest Bank is building this gorgeous new facility. They broke ground, I believe, last week. And at the site of their current bank is going to be this fantastic Walgreens. Really, really beautiful building. So this is right next to the Red Lobster, which is one of the busiest Red Lobsters in the whole country. You cannot ever forget 111th and Cicero and Mariano's. We are just all very, very and anxiously anticipating the construction. It will be 73,000 square feet. We're slightly ahead of schedule on this project. They're going to deliver it in the fall, late fall, to Mr. Mariano, and then he will equip the store and open, so we can hardly wait. This is part of a whole development. Many of you have already seen these slides, but I want to take the time and really show Mariano's will be up through here. We're going to have 2 wonderful restaurants here and here. This will be retail, and then a bank over there. So it's coming along. When you think of banks, you cannot forget the beautiful Oaklawn Bank and Trust Bank going up over at 95th and Raymond. They're spending millions of dollars in our community on this bank. Absolutely beautiful building. Advanced Auto Parts is going in around 90th and Cicero there. They're moving quickly on their construction and should be open soon. Anyone who's been at 95th and Ridgeland remembers the old facade. It was pretty dated with the red awnings. We have this beautiful new facade. It's very, very attractive and a nice improvement. Back on Cicero Avenue, Oak Tree Plaza on 108th is looking at a facade update also. That's still in the works. We've had some corridor studies being done, and this is the Beatty property, just showing a potential development there. We also have a very interesting result from the corridor study on Harlem. It takes the cloverleaf at 95th and Harlem, and it opens it up with acreage that could be developed for business purposes. Here's a conceptual design of that. This is about 25 acres. The traffic counts there are crazy, really good. So we're winding down. Everyone's looking like they're kind of tired of these numbers. A little bit more to go. A little bit more to go. We can do it in Oaklawn. When you think of Oaklawn, I think of a big engine. It drives healthcare in the region. It supports public safety in the region, supplies water in the region, and also commerce. These developments you see today show that Oaklawn has a great regional appeal and influence. I just got some traffic numbers for Oaklawn. They're crazy good, very hard to see, but you're about 47,000 right down here, again, very hard to see, 25,000, 39,000. This is huge, huge. You think of the busiest areas and they don't have traffic counts like that. You think of Chicago Ridge Mall, well, they're about 22 and 45. Look at 111th and Cicero. You can really see there's not even a mall there and there's that kind of traffic count. We have a mall in Chicago Ridge, a very fine mall, but they don't have numbers like we have before there's even anything built. Just imagine how wonderful and what it's going to do for the community. This is Chicago Ridge. So, you know, Shop Oaklawn is more than just a cute phrase. It's a way of life for those of us who have businesses in town. And it's not necessarily something we think a lot about. The village of Oaklawn could be setting a better example, and my goal is to really try. Currently, when you take all the money that's not salary or benefits, it's about $20 million. We're just spending about $3 million of our non-salary money on Oaklawn businesses. We certainly can do better, and my goal is to see this number increase. It's a little bit challenging to do, but I know we can do it. We have an absolutely fantastic Chamber of Commerce. Absolutely energetic. What people need to know is 80% of our shopping, when you shop local, returns back to the community. As mayor, I want to partner with the chamber, make sure that Oaklawn lives up to its potential for economic growth. I think, you know, healthcare, water, safety, we're very, very strong. Certainly we're strong economically, but there is wonderful, wonderful improvement to be made. We can do it together. This is a public-private partnership with our business community, and this is the key to success. So my goal is to create a business-friendly environment in Oaklawn, stay connected with our business community, and explore and promote regulations that will support local business efforts. Together we can do this. So, thank you very much. So, Michelle. Did anyone have any questions? And I'll repeat it.
With the sad state of affairs in Chicago, by them just kicking the pension can down the road, I'm proud that we in Oak Lawn are taking proactive steps to ensure our future fiscal health. Will Chicago's inaction have any direct impact on our village?
Absolutely. We are joined at the hip with Chicago. The question was, you know, Chicago's kicking the can down the road with their pension liabilities and not getting handle on their debt. Will this affect Oak Lawn? It absolutely will. The climate of this has to change. The money, you know, you look at these kids in schools and growing up and you think, you know, what are we leaving them, or what kind of legacy? We inherited a very, very strong country, and it's really, we have to get back to that. So this board is committed to paying down the debt. Last year we doubled our pension contribution from the prior year, and next year again 6 to 8% we want to get it down. So it will affect it, sadly, you know, but anyone want to add to that on my wonderful board here, my panel? No other questions? Wow, I can't believe it. Okay. Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. It means a lot to be here. Oak Lawn is something we should all be very enthusiastic about selling to the world, and thank you for your time watching. Thank you.